I was fired as a single mom and never went back to work. Here's how my first year as a full-time entrepreneur went. Let me take you back. I'm 25 years old and a single mom of a 4-year-old and a 5-month-old. I bought a house 2 years prior at 23 years old to give my then only child stability. I had a second child at 25 and couldn't walk for 3 months due to severe sciatica and 1 month without a walker. I finally go back to my corporate job at a payroll company after 4 months of first being on maternity and then being on disability due to the circumstances. I always wanted to be home with my kids, so I created a plan when I was pregnant with my second child to keep my job while building my first business. I had just gotten everything prepared to start my first business and start putting my plan into place when, after a month of being back, I was fired. I hadn't had a chance to start putting anything into action. So there was no job, 2 kids, a mortgage, a household to maintain on my own, and 1 inconsistent child support check, and no, I didn't get unemployment either. Shit got real quick. So here's my first year as a full-time entrepreneur and single mom, now having to deviate from my original plan and pivot before I even got started. As far as the business, I hadn't even gotten my first client yet. I had no guidance and I was forced into survival mode, trying any and everything to see what would work to get my first client. A huge obstacle I faced was, although I was 25, I looked extremely young. And although some liked my approach, they didn't trust me and didn't want to be my first client. As far as my personal life, I struggled financially, emotionally, and mentally in silence. And I was never one to talk about what I was going through, so no one knew. I went to my great-grandmother's house most Sundays where my mom's side of the family was, and I acted as if everything was okay. Sometimes even holding back tears, which I'd hide. I had no help. I was stressed out and I was figuring everything out on my own, but I became extremely resourceful because of it. As for my mortgage, I was granted a forbearance for 12 months and then a $200 mortgage payment for the following 6. I communicated with my mortgage company and they knew the situation, so they allowed me that time to get back on my feet. I got grants for my utility payments. I literally didn't have to pay 1 single utility payment in an entire year. As far as my infant, I breastfed. So I didn't have to worry about milk, which is something that I did have to worry about years prior with my son. And I did have to come out of pocket with him. But fortunately, during this time, I was breastfeeding my daughter, so buying formula wasn't something that I had to do. It was also at this time, for the first time in my life, that I had to receive help with food or government help with food. My main focus at this time was to get clients so that I could get out of this situation, to maintain and take care of my home life, and to make sure that my kids didn't feel like they were missing anything. I really just didn't want them to feel any difference in their day-to-day lives. Business was so tough that I ended up starting a second business until the first business picked up. And the second business ended up seeing success a lot sooner than the first one did. It also ended up giving me relief until the first business picked up, because the first business didn't end up picking up until my second year.
Yeah.
And that's how my first year as a full-time single mom entrepreneur went.
Fresh off a fast, I showed me my opponent. I've been chasing after guy, y'all chasing viral moments. Having driver, no God is like a car without the tires on it. I wish they would and I put fire on it. Funny, on their way to the top, they would hit my phone. Said they was looking for advice, thought I could put them on. I never lied about my position, never let them on. Wasn't much that I can do other than share your song. The truth ain't what they recommend. I played the game right and they let suckers win. Got all this respect behind the doors, but got no public friends.